about that time. It's about that time. Tune in or get tuned the fuck out. It's that Big Fruit podcast. Big Fruit podcast. It's that Big Fruit podcast. He about to go live. It's about that fucking time. It's that podcast. A-Hood, A-State, A-Block. Lot of watch, A-Day. Big Fruit. Been popping all kinds of ways. He took his spot, made it hot like a dinner plate. If you see him live, tune in, it's going down. True stories by real legends that's in the ground. Real gangsters that's in the jails in the town. Fire music, all exclusive, shut it down. This shit is real talk, real shit, word to mommy. By niggas that was killing shit and niggas that got body. By niggas sitting with life writing books for a hobby. By niggas who told niggas who made it, niggas copy. Violate this podcast, get put in the bag. To the nearest ER in the ground with the dead. A lot of these niggas is fraud, they whole podcast is trash. Fucking with Big Fruit, we ain't your...
Salute, and welcome back to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I'm your host, Big Fruit, Michael Jordan of Record, also known as the voice of the streets, but better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in their proper perspective. And I'm here with an addendum to keep things in a proper perspective. Y'all see the title. This morning, I popped off this morning, know what I'm saying, with my video for the brother Sim out of Bushwick, letting y'all know he got that Royal Empire, the Bushwick, Brooklyn story coming soon. And when I mentioned some of the people that he will highlight in this feature, I mentioned Broadway Kid. And I got that name wrong because in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, the Bed-Stuy and Bushwick area, Myrtle and Broadway and all that, when you heard the name Kev, you thought of two people. You had Kev Davis out of Bushwick, and you had Broadway Kev, or for any rap. Salutes and shout out to Broadway Kev of any rap. For those that know, that is Black or the Mack or Big Bro. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Broadway Kev. And I'm old Brooklyn. I was a kid out there in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And Broadway Kev, his name was his name. You understand what I'm saying? So I got Broadway Kev mixed up with Kevin Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because when you used to go to Myrtle and Broadway to buy your tops, although you was right behind Marcy, you felt you was in Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? So when I think of Kev out of Bushwick, I always put Broadway with his name. So that was my imperfection. I got that wrong. Kev out of Bushwick name is Kevin Davis, the brother of Richard Bush. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get that name right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kev, Broadway Kev, off Eddie Rock, Notion Avenue, the OG. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, his name rung bells like 6 o'clock down there on Notion Avenue, son. Don't get it twisted. And he old Notion Avenue. He old NA Rock. Shout out to all those old NA Rockers. You know what I'm saying? Monk. You know what I'm saying? Broadway Kev. They know who they be. You know what I'm saying? Those are the old school NA Rockers. You know what I'm saying? But when it come to Kev Davis out of Bushwick, I'm telling you, son, hearing the stories about these dudes, him and Bush, those are two OGs that I do not personally know. But I had the honor and the pleasure to rip and run and cross paths with some of the shorties that ran with him. That was in my generation, like I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lil Ty. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Kojak. You know what I'm saying? But you know who I failed to mention, man? And listen, man. When I drops the ball, I can always leave it up to the homie Chewy. Shout out to the homie Chewy. Brooklyn forever. That is the homie. Chewy said, yo, you forgot about Mack. Shout out to Mack Murder. Yeah, son, when they tell this Bushwick story, I'm going to make sure they talk about Mack Murder. That is the homie. That is the comrade. That is the bro since we were children. In fact, I spoke to the homie Mo Dog yesterday. Free Mo Dog. I spoke to the homie Mo Dog yesterday and I asked about Mack Murder. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, little Mack? He was like, yo, he's still running around here. So Mo Dog and Mack Murder are together today. You know what I'm saying? So I want to shout out to the homies, those the comrades. I spoke to Dog yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Mack Murder is the homie. Until he was like, yo, man, how you forget Mack murder? I was like, damn, I just asked about Mack yesterday when I was talking to Dog. That shit slipped my mind. You know what I'm saying? Mack is the homie. You know what I'm saying? Free Mack murder. Yeah, and I'm quite sure when they tell a Bushwick story, so when we get on the topic of Mack murder, they gonna have a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? I got stories to tell about Mack murder, and I ain't from Bushwick. I wasn't out there. I wasn't on the scene when he put that down. You know what I'm saying? These guys were. You know what I'm saying? Either they were there, they know about it, they was around, they heard about it, they gonna give it up. You know what I'm saying? Free Mack murder, that is the homie. Yeah, so I definitely had to jump back on here today and do an addendum, you know what I'm saying, and show Mack murder that love. And more importantly, I wanted to get that name thing right, you know what I'm saying? We not perfect, you know what I'm saying? I make mistakes up here, but I'm always man enough to come up here and admit when I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? And I had that names wrong because you got Kev Davis out of Bushwick, and then you got Broadway Kev over in Iraq. And for some reason when we were shorties, I used to always say Broadway Kev because of Murder in Broadway when I used to go get my bottles on tops. You know what I'm saying? That name Kev rung bells. And when I was coming up, it was only two Kev's names that rung bells. Kevin Davis and Broadway Kev. If it was a third or fourth nigga named Kev, we ain't know. I knew another Kev out of LG. Rest in peace, Kevin Evans. You know what I'm saying? That was the homie. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, those was the only two Kev's names that were shaking the concrete in Bed-Stuy, Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York. And that's right there. We kind of close to each other. So when you heard Kev, it was either one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Straight jacket. You know what I'm saying? It's just your boy Big Fruit. You know how I do. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is, say what it ain't. I just wanted to come through here and do this addendum. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to get that right. You know what I'm saying? The streets is always watching, and the homies always on my line. The homies always like, yo, son, you was reminiscing, son, but you dropped the ball. Word, what happened? Yo, Kev, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, damn, I got that shit mixed up. They like, yeah, son, remember we used to buy the bottles and tops. Reminiscing. Reminiscing. Yeah, we used to buy the bottles and tops or Myrtle and Broadway. Word. Went from the regular joints to the 3 dimensions. Then they had the bullet tops. Word. We used to cop on Myrtle and Broadway. That was the spot. The niggas selling bottles and tops like they had license. They were selling that paraphernalia like that shit was legal. Word. We was jumping in and out of cabs off Myrtle, all up and down Myrtle Ave, buying bottles and tops like it was nothing. Like that shit was legal. Little shorties from LG, 13, 14 years old. Word. Jumping on the train, going all the way uptown on 145th, copping that 8-ball, chopping it up, trying to get somebody. Word. Murder and Broadway was the spot. We never bought the bottles and tops on 145th and brought them back to Brooklyn. We only bought that little 8-ball and brought it back on the train. Word, those was the days, son. Y'all remember that? Those was the days. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to reminisce. I wanted to get the names right because it's Kevin Davis out of Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? He's the person they're going to be talking about in that Royal Empire. My boy Sim out of Bushwick when they get that thing popping. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have a front row seat. We're going to show full support and we're going to get that shaking for him. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, once again, shout out to Broadway Kev. It ain't rock to the casket drop. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And free Mack murder. Listen, man, it's your boy Big Fruit. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is and say what it ain't. And right now, it's all about that Royal Empire coming to you by the boy Bushwick Sim. Make sure y'all tap into him on Instagram, Bushwick_Sim. Once again, tap to the homie on Instagram, Bushwick_Sim. Is going down. Until next time, salute. Free Mack murder.
About that time, About that time, Tune in or keep tuning the fuck out. It's that Big Fruit podcast. Big Fruit podcast. It's that Big Fruit podcast. He about to go live. It's about that fucking time. It's that podcast. A-Hood, A-State, A-Block. Love to watch A-Day. Big Fruit been popping all kinds of ways. He took his spot, made it hot like a dinner plate. If you see him live, tune in, it's going down. True stories by real legends that's in the ground. Real gangsters that's in the jails in the town. Fire music, all exclusive, shut it down. This shit is real talk, real shit, word to mommy. By niggas that was killing shit and niggas that got bodied.